Hammurabi did not go far enough. Draco did not go far enough. I'm Pfizer did not go far, and it's not far enough anymore. It's not far enough. It's not far enough. No. We need to go further. And furthermore, Montezuma did not go far enough. Sang Shane Chong did not go far enough. Robespierre did not go far enough. It's not far enough anymore. It's not far enough. No.
All right. Okay, everybody, welcome back to Burn Pile. I think this is episode 34. Can you believe it? We are deep into the 30s now with these episodes. Once again, to all the new listeners, hello. Don't forget to sign up at burnpile.vip, because when YouTube is long gone, when BitChute is but a distant memory, Peter Thiel's Substack will continue on burnpile.vip. Peter Thiel's getting a lot of hate lately, all because because he funds Palantir, which is named after an evil object in the Lord of the Rings, and because he's very, very based and wants to control the world. Wanting to control the world, this is what separates the men from the boys on the conservative side. Seeing someone who wants to control the entire planet and saying that's bad, that's conservacuck territory. Wanting an evil wizard to actually rule the planet. Now you say, hey, wait, wizard cat here, you said you're always complaining that like boomers and the liberal world order like want to rule the world. Yes, but they're gay, right? Like the American-led elite, they want to rule the world in like a gay way. They want there to be like gay rights. Peter Thiel is gay himself, but he doesn't want gay people to have rights. He's like, here's what you have to understand. Being gay it's one strike, okay? So here's Peter Thiel for me. He's gay. Strike one. Okay? He's Catholic. Strike two. He thinks people should not have human rights, and that an organization that he controls should dictate what happens on planet Earth and be the new U.S. intelligence service, and he should replace the elite world order based in the United States with his own. Now that is not a strike at all. That kicks ass. That rules. Also, Substack, you get such a false view of the world if you're on X and Substack all the time, like I am. Like, in my mind, like, everybody uses Substack all the time, and everybody is constantly reading Substack, because I am. There's enough free content there to just constantly, like, to never be not reading Substack. You can just read it forever. And there's a lot of, like, mainstream people there. People used to write for the New York Times and stuff. At least there used to be. But like, if you go on like Reddit or something, you'll see people like unironically being like, "Well, you can't use Substack because they say the N-word or something." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, it's the same with like people who use Blue Sky, and like there being like moderation on Blue Sky is like a positive thing. X isn't even a I said faggot on X, and I said because the guy who made Earthworm Jim, I didn't know. I knew he was based. I didn't know he was as based as he actually is. And he had a tweet where he said faggot, And I just like I quote tweeted it and said like, "Whoa, the Earthworm Jim guy says faggot." I got like a message saying my reach has been limited for that tweet, and it's like, excuse me, what the fuck happened to free speech? So X is already like super 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 cucked, but like it's just better than everything else. I guess on Blue Sky, it's like what Twitter was in the dark ages, but uh, that side needs it to be that way, or else they'll never ever win a debate because Nazi frogs are always funnier than whatever they're going to say. So if they say something serious, you can just post a Nazi frog and it's funny. Sorry, I was just taking a little Tylenol. What a little miracle drug Tylenol is, huh? Love Tylenol. Um, I finally read Marilynne Robinson's Gilead. I've been doing a lot more reading lately. Actually, I went on a big spending spree. I spent too much money at a bookstore here. There's one bookstore in this country that has a really nice English section, and I went there and I spent about $200 on books, which was a mistake. But I read Gilead, Marilynne Robinson's Gilead, and you know, I actually did quite enjoy it. It's the thing is, I had purchased that book a long time ago before this bookstore trip, and probably like 2 years ago, I'm going to say I bought it because I was like, oh, it's a book by a Christian author, and it won the Pulitzer Prize, I think. I'm like, well, that's interesting. I would think only like anti-Christian books would ever get the Pulitzer Prize. And as it was sitting on my bookshelf, Marilynne Robinson happened to publish an article in the New York Review of Books, which I read. And in that article, it was all about how Trump is bad and Christians supporting him are retarded or something along those lines. So I was like, oh, she's like a PBS Christian. She's not a real so who gives a shit what she has to say? So then I didn't read her book for like 2 years or whatever. But then, it was sitting on my shelf taunting me. So I picked it up, I read it. Yeah, it's a very, very short, easy book. You can read it in like a couple days. You could probably read it in like one or two sittings if you wanted. And it was it was okay. It was all right. I kind of liked it. It reminded me in some ways of my family a little bit. um, but the thing, it's all about like there were these radical like New England Protestants who like set up towns and churches like to like help slaves like on the Underground Railroad, and they're like radical abolitionists. It's that thing. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, there's the angle. Like there's why she's allowed to write for the New York Review of Books. It's not about like really like based like retarded Southern Christians or something and how they're human. It's just humanizing uh like Northeastern abolitionist Calvinists or whatever. So the people who control the world are okay with that getting the Pulitzer Prize. That doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's bad. Some interesting things in there. It was okay. That's my review of Marilynne Robinson's Gilead. It was okay. It's a little bit cucked. It's a woman writing about the life of a man, so it's a little film-like. What I mean by that is it doesn't express a man's interiority in a totally realistic way, but it's enough. You can go with it. You can suspend your disbelief to go with it, and that's not the point anyway. There's it's a little a smattering of like basic Christian philosophy in there. Very very readable, pretty enjoyable, not bad at all. um after i after I read it, I of course started looking up reviews and things. I went on YouTube, and there's this guy doing like a book review of it, and he was saying it's like it was hard to get through, and he was saying like nothing happens in it. but then after like two tries, he was able to finally get through it. And I was thinking, like, how retarded are people that that this is your YouTube book review? You could barely get through it. Like, you have a book review channel and you couldn't get through. It's like 250 pages, and you were so bored. You're a book review guy, but you were so bored by it you couldn't get through it. Are you serious? And the complaint that nothing ever happens, I'm very much on the opposite side with this. I resent when things happen in books and movies. I think the perfect book would have no plot at all. Um, the idea that you would be worried about the plot, and in fact, when I was reading this book, I really resented the introduction of a plot at all. I don't. It was like it's in the form of like I guess a diary or like a letter that this aging pastor is writing to his young son before kind of explaining about his life before he dies, so his son can read it when he gets older. And then when something resembling a plot starts happening, I'm like kind of rolling my eyes. It's like, just write the letters about your life. I don't care about this thing that's happening. There's a plot. And then there's this very contrived white male, black female romance that's not time appropriate. I believe it's set in the 50s, this story, the 1950s. So I was like, okay, well, hey, I guess this gets a Pulitzer Prize. As long as it's not humanizing like Southern racist white Christians, right? Then it gets a Pulitzer Prize. But hey, that's my review. There you go. Little book review for everybody. I'm actually finally reading the Aeneid, uh, Virgil's The Aeneid. I think I mentioned that I reread the Iliad a couple months ago. I had read the poetic translation of the Iliad maybe 2 or 3 years ago. This year, I reread the Iliad in the prose form, and now I'm on to the Aeneid for the first time. Um, Pretty entertaining. Gotta love those Romans, huh? Those Romans they're a little more they're a little less artistic. Virgil's a little less artistic. He's a little more to the point, I think, in the Aeneid. But I'll have more thoughts about that next week. Okay, now what is this gay bullshit you're thinking? Why is he talking about books again? I hate this. Just get to the news stories. Don't worry, folks. We've got them. We've got two Indian stories. And I'm going to start with the first one, and frankly, the more Indian one. Uh, Here we go. Now, this story, this is why I will never be led into the upper elite, the holy of holies of the racists, because I'm pretty racist, but I'm when I see things like this, like if racist means that I think the races are biologically different, then yeah, I'm racist, Um, and hey, if you think the races are not biologically different, I invite you to compare a first world East Asian country with a first world Black African country. Oh wait, okay, but if racist means that you have to dislike the other races, well then I'm never going to be let in. As you know, like I said last time when we were talking about Will Smith and him getting murdered, him killing him, getting fucked in the ass, as his black assistant described. When you hear the black assistant describe that gay sex as being as being murdered, it's impossible not to like them. I'll never. What, we're gonna burn a cross on his lawn? He's hilarious. What do you mean? Right? That's me. And it's the same with this Indian story here. I mean, I've already made my thoughts and feelings about Usha Vance very clear. I think I've encouraged miscegenation. I've encouraged race mixing quite a lot. And this is a beautiful story where the Indian guys do something that no white guys would ever do. And it's amazing. And they did the right thing, really. They did the right thing. Okay, I'm going to read this story now. Let's get started. Indian tourists in Pattaya complained bar girl's chest was, quote, too small after she undressed. Call cops at 2:30 a.m. 3 Indian tourists called the police to their hotel room in Pattaya, Thailand, to settle a late-night dispute with a bar girl. According to a report in Pattaya Mail, the tourists claimed that they were unhappy with her figure, specifically because her, quote, chest was too small, end quote, and wanted her to leave the hotel room. The tourists claimed that the woman had entered their room and was refusing to leave. The woman presented a different version of events, claiming that she had made a deal with the 3 men and only wanted the rest of her payment before she left. On July 18th at approximately 2:30 a.m., Pattaya police station received a request for help from a group of 3 Indian tourists. When cops arrived at the hotel, blah, 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 they found a woman between 35 to 40 years of age. Okay. Now, this is cool. This is a cool little traveling hack for you guys out there. You're thinking, hey, I want to go to Pattaya. I want to go to Thailand. I want to see the sights, the land of smiles. Now, what are you going to do to save a little cash? What might you do? Hey, travel in a group, right? Probably get some nice group rates, you can get like some kind of package deals, right? Like, hey, we want you can split a hotel room, or maybe you can get you split a hotel suite and then you're in a nice suite, and a nice suite with 3 bedrooms, and it's like a much nicer room that any one of you guys would get. You save a little money this way, right? Good idea. Now you take that a step further, okay? You go one step beyond that, and this is, like I said, the races are different. The Indian mind and the white mind are a little different, and I'm not saying one's even better than the other one right now, okay? I mean, you've seen these Indian CEOs running these American companies. I'm not saying that they're worse. For God's sakes, they thrive in America. But here's where the Indian mind goes down pathways the white mind might not go down, okay? You're already saving money on the hotel room, let's say. Now, where else might you save a little bit of cash if you, let's say, split the bill, okay? Where else are you going to save that money? All right, I'll keep reading. The woman reportedly was startled, but unaware that she had done anything that warranted a visit from the cops. She said that she had met the men. They had agreed to a price of 3,000 baht per person. Having already received a deposit of 1,000 baht, she accompanied the group to their hotel. Be like, okay, if we want to get a whore, we can either pay 5,000 baht. We pay 5,000 baht, we each get whore, or what if the 3 of us share the same whore, we pay 3,000 baht each? Huh? Right? Now this is clever. This is like when the Indian CEO of a tech company fires 50,000 Americans and hires 15,000 people in India and brings in 10,000 H-1B guys from India into America, and then does the rest with AI. That's the same kind of thinking. It's like, well, you're kind of dirtying yourself a little bit here by doing this, but in the end, you are still getting off, and you are saving some scratch. And that's what it's all about, saving some scratch. All right. However, once at the hotel, the men began criticizing her appearance. They said her figure was not what they had imagined, and her chest was too small. Well, I guess she was wearing some kind of push-up bra or something like that. One can only imagine. All right, let's continue. The bar girl agreed to leave, but demanded the rest of her payment. The Indian men promised to pay her and left the hotel under the pretext of withdrawing money. However, they then tricked the woman by approaching the police. The resolution. Let's see. The resolution. I didn't get this far because I was I was grabbing my stomach and laughing uproariously with tears coming out of my eyes when I first saw this. So I didn't actually read the resolution. You're finding out with me for the first time. The resolution. Pattaya is generally considered to be the sex hotspot of Thailand, a city that draws millions of foreign tourists each year for its red light areas. According to the report, the Indian tourists admitted that they had hired the woman from a local bar. However, they changed their mind after she undressed. They asked the woman to leave, saying her appearance did not match what they had in mind. When she demanded payment, the men approached the police for help. It says the same story like 6 times in this fucking article, written by. This is the Hindustan Times. This was written by AI and Indians, Indians, if you will. God. Okay. Police asked both sides to reach a resolution, warning them of legal action if they failed to come to an agreement. Eventually, the tourists received a partial refund, and neither party pressed charges against the other. That's so bizarre, isn't it? Like in the U.S., we have like you can't go to the law if you're doing something illegal. And the sex industry, I'm pretty sure, is technically illegal in Thailand. It's obviously like a blind eye thing, but just the idea that you can be doing it and go to the police and be like, her tits were way too small, and the police officer's like, come on, let's work this out. What's the number we can all reach? Officer, I was supposed to gangbang these 3 Indian guys. I was supposed to let them gangbang me for 9,000 baht. And they told me my tits were too small, and now what are we supposed to do? And the officer's got to. I mean, you need the wisdom of Solomon to. We chop off one breast and give it to. I mean, this is crazy, crazy. But oh my god, can you imagine though? Like, here's the thing. You might think, well, no, that's degenerate. I will never like Indian guys. That's ridiculous. Imagine being in a bar, okay? And 3 Indian guys come into the bar and they tell you that story. Are you telling me that would not be hilarious? If those 3 Indian guys came into the bar and they're like, "Oh yes, Pattaya, I went there. Yes, we went there, Pattaya. But you have to be careful with the dark lights and the push-up bra. You don't know what you get. We got girl. We were going to gangbang girl in the hotel. Her breasts small, so small we call police." I mean, absolutely incredible stuff coming from the Indians. The world is a big and a beautiful place, really. And once again, this is why, like this is why I would get kicked out of the KKK, right? Like if I tried to join, they'd be like, you don't have it in you. You don't have what it takes. Okay. Let's go on to our next story here. This is another Indian story as promised. And this relates to what we talked about last week about how they're these organ donors, they're like they're hungry for your organs. They're these kind of vampires. They're zombies that feed on human flesh. They're looking at your loved ones who are on their deathbeds, and there's saliva dripping from their mouths. They're hungry for those organs. They want them. It's not about saving lives. It's about being as evil as possible. It's about trying to hurt people as badly as you possibly can, because these people are demons from hell. That's what we talked about last week with so-called organ donation, right? They're chopping into living flesh while your relatives are still alive. Okay, now New York Times, I think in response to that, I think they probably got a lot of pushback from doctors, right? So they've got an article here titled, it's an opinion guest essay, "Donor Organs Are Too Rare. We Need a New Definition of Death." Now, you're saying, how is this Indian? Well, the writer here is Dr. Sandeep Jauhar. Oh, and also Snehal Patel. And we've got an honorary white in here, Dean Smith. Okay, but but we know who the driving creative force in an article with this title is. It's Sandeep and Patel. It's got to be, right? So here we go with the Indians. The so-called Americanized Indians here, they think that we need more donor organs, and we need to start calling the deaths a lot earlier. Despite the article last week saying that we're cutting into living flesh, ripping out hearts like some kind of South American ritual. Okay. Reading here, people die in many ways, but in medicine, there are only two reasons a person can be declared dead. Either the heart has stopped or the brain has ceased to function, even if the heart is still beating. A person may serve as an organ donor only after being declared dead. Until then, transplant surgeons are not allowed even to interact with a dying patient. Okay, so this here is like a great example of propaganda. So in parentheses, until then, transplant surgeons are not allowed even to interact with a dying patient. Well, if you remember from the article about last week, we were talking about how the organ donation people, the organ donation organizers or whatever, come in and are talking to people on their deathbed and pressuring relatives and all that, and it starts way too early, right? Because they're hungry, they want those organs fresh. By the way, they're not putting them in people to save their lives; they're sacrificing them on an altar to Moloch, and the AI is telling them how to do it. That was all last week. Go back and watch last week's episode if you don't remember. But that's the staff, right? That's the organ transplant staff doing all that. Those people aren't surgeons, right? So there's a little sleight of hand here where they're in parentheses here. Until then, transplant surgeons are not allowed even to interact with a dying patient. Yeah, I know that. That would have been way more egregious if the actual surgeon who rips out the hearts came in while you were still alive and was like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? You're not looking so hot. In a few hours, I'm going to be cutting into that." Yeah, of course that's not happening. But by putting this in parentheses here, it's making it a counterpoint to what they said in the last article. But it's not at all, because it wasn't talking about the surgeons doing it, for Christ's sakes. It was talking about the workers, the coordinators or whatever. Okay, let's continue reading. Most donor organs today are obtained after brain death, defined by most state laws as a condition of permanent unconsciousness with no spontaneous breathing, no response to pain, and no primitive reflexes. In other words, devastation of the whole brain. Organs obtained this way are often relatively healthy because brain-dead patients can continue to circulate blood and oxygen. Brain death is rare, though. In New York State, with a population of 20 million, there are on average fewer than 500 cases suitable for organ procurement and transplantation each year. So we gotta get those numbers up. That's what Sandeep is saying. Sandeep is saying, in India, the number is much higher. In India, Vishnu makes the number much higher. Far more often, people die because their heart has permanently stopped beating, which is known as circulatory death. However, precisely because the blood has stopped circulating, organs from people who die this way are often damaged and unsuited for transplantation. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. That's okay. The need for donor organs is urgent. An estimated 15 people die in this country every day waiting for a transplant. We need to figure out how to obtain more healthy organs from donors while maintaining strict ethical standards. New technologies can help, but the best solution, we believe, is legal. We need to broaden the definition of death. I mean, can you believe someone someone with the name Sandeep has the fucking balls to write this art, to come to this country. Like, I know that you guys have like 1,000 gods, and you know, you guys all like shit in gigantic diapers and shit in the streets, and like you sacrifice organs to God. I know, like when the British ruled you guys, you were like kidnapping British children and literally like sacrificing them to Kali and stuff. But you know, don't bring it here. I mean, come on. What the fuck? This is unreal. This is like, you know, as I just said, I admire all the races for everything, you know, really, like, and in all kinds of different ways. After all, I myself live in a non-white country. I myself have been friendly with several Indian people that I've met here, who also wanted to get the fuck out of India. But like this is insane. Like, you know, a tiny dose of racism here would have really helped the New York Times, where they're like, we can't publish this written by Sandeep. You know, Sandeep and Patel cannot be advocating for human sacrifice in our newspaper. It's a little too much. Maybe if Kamala had won, we'd go with that. But this is going to be a rough sell for even our audience. You'd think they would say that, but no, they're letting it go. Let's see how we need to broaden the definition of death here. Consider how things currently work. In the procedure known as donation after circulatory death, a typical donor is in an irreversible coma from, say, a drug overdose or a massive cerebral hemorrhage, and the heart is beating only because of life support. The donor is still not legally brain dead. He or she might have, say, a gag reflex. I wonder how Sandeep tests for that. Or other primitive functions. In such cases, with the blessing of the family, a donor is brought into an operating room and life support is carefully withdrawn. If, as is expected, the removal of life support results in stoppage of the heart, surgeons will wait long enough to determine that the stoppage is permanent, to be confident of death, but not so long that vital organs get damaged. This period is typically about 5 minutes. Then the surgeons remove the organs. But even a few minutes of a stopped heart often results in damage to the organs. This deprives potential recipients of healthy organs and thwarts the wishes of donors to have their organs used to help others. Fortunately, there is a relatively new method that can improve the efficacy of donation after circulatory death. In this procedure, which is called normothermic regional perfusion, doctors take an irreversibly comatose donor off life support long enough to determine that the heart has stopped beating permanently, but then the donor is placed on a machine that circulates oxygen-rich blood through the body to preserve organ function. Donor organs obtained through this procedure, which is used widely in Europe and increasingly in the United States, tend to be much healthier. That sounds like a nightmare. It sounds like you're not dead. You're still having like weird dreams where you're going towards the light, and then Sandeep starts carving you up. That's what that sounds like to me. Okay, let's keep reading. But by artificially circulating blood and oxygen, the procedure can reanimate a lifeless heart. Some doctors and ethicists find the procedure objectionable because in reversing the stoppage of the heart, it seems to nullify the reason the donor was declared dead in the first place. Is the donor no longer dead, they wonder? Yeah, I do wonder about that, Sandeep. Proponents of the procedure reply that the resumption of the heartbeat should not be considered resuscitation. The donor still has no independent functioning, nor is there any hope of it. They say that it is not the donor, but rather regions of the body that have been revived. So how to resolve this debate? The solution, we believe, is to broaden the definition of brain death to include irreversibly comatose patients on life support. What an absolute nightmare. And this got published by the New York Times. This made it through their filter. And what's really disturbing about this is it's clearly a response to the article from last week. So, like, last week when we're reading about the nightmare of people getting carved into while they're still breathing, to get their organs removed. Some doctors read that, and their reaction was to write this article in response saying, we need more hearts. Actually, we need to carve up more people more quickly. We need more legal power. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy. But thank God the boomers at the New York Times, say what you will about them, the boomers who comment at the New York Times, but they do want to cling to their lives. And even they find this highly objectionable. Jess here from California says, recent events have shown me that the current organ procurement system is not fit for purpose in handling circulatory deaths. Organ donor organizations need to address the chilling incidences of persons being alive when organs were attempted to be retrieved. At least one went on to fully recover. Others lived for a few days. All I see is donor organizations telling us that such events are rare. One event of carving into a living human being is one too many. Physicians continuing with procedures. Okay, blah, 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 blah. You get it. So this was so horrific that even the monsters who read the New York Times recognized it as such, which is good to see. I'm happy about that. That makes me happy. Okay, that's all these stories about Indians that I have this week. So let's move on to something else. Let's cleanse the palate a little bit. Let's see. Let's go with the New York Post here. Here we go. Music teacher accused of giving lap dance, kissing teen girl takes the stand as twisted emails are revealed. All right. A music teacher who was photographed kissing an underage teen girl in a cinema photo booth has taken the stand to defend herself at trial, claiming it was a, quote, pretend kiss that she did not want or expect. Okay, now that's funny. This is, this is another reason where, like, of course I'm a male and I hate women, but I can never really hate women, I mean, I do and I don't. You know what I mean? It's the same as like the racist thing. This is funny. This is really funny. You're a teacher at a school, and there's a photo of you kissing one of the teen students, and to say, Your Honor, that was a pretend kiss. I mean, that's funny. Your Honor, that was just. I know there's a. Your Honor, that was a Homer Simpson, right? The bowling episode. He says that was a practice, right? Your Honor, that was a practice kiss. That wasn't a real. Excuse me. Can you imagine like a male teacher being caught like kissing a female student, and like imagine you're like a male teacher and you kiss like a female like teenage student, and then like the mom walks in or something, like her mom comes in, and you're like, oh, don't misunderstand, it was a pretend kiss. It's very, very funny. Okay, let's read on here. The rare story about a lesbian female teacher. Usually they're abusing boys lately. Okay. Pretend kiss that she did not want or expect. Janelle Colville Fletcher, 40, is contesting the allegations that she groomed and sexually abused a teen girl some years ago, and testified this week at the South Australian District Court before Judge Joanne Fuller. I actually didn't know this was an Australian story. I assumed it was American. Okay. The prosecution, led by Chris Allen, alleges Fletcher abused the girl in various locations, and also that she communicated with her and another teenage girl to make them amenable to sexual activity. Well, in these stories, they always have a photo of the teacher, but of course never the student. So we've got a picture of the teacher here. She's she's not a looker, but she's not a 40-year-old ham planet either. She's kept it together a little bit, actually. Okay. Some of the alleged offenses happened when the two girls and Fletcher were alone together in a room, the prosecution said, with the teacher allegedly performing a lap dance on a chair. Huh? What is the point of a lap dance if no one involved can get an erection? Right? I mean, isn't it like the lap dance is it like she's rubbing your cock kind of through the clothes, right? Or she's getting close to it. If you don't have a cock, is it even erotic? I don't understand. These teacher things are always very clear cut. I actually this week I also happened to have watched that movie Miller's Girl. I think that came out like 2 years ago. It's Jenna Ortega. She's an 18-year-old high school student, and she's her teacher is her high school English teacher is the Hobbit, the guy from the Hobbit movies, and he gets too close to her, and then she kind of accuses him of kind of fucking her or like an inappropriate relationship. Not a great movie, but exactly what we're talking about here. Now, if this were a man, this would be totally different, right? Because it's a lesbian, it seems a little. I mean, it seems a little fucked up, but I don't know. If there's no penis involved, it's really not that threatening. Like, it's unfortunate, but it's like when a penis is involved, it kind of fills you with like murderous rage if you're like a family member of this person. I mean, me, since I don't know any of these people, I don't really give a shit. That's the healthy reaction. It's like, ew, but, not really giving too much of a shit. As I've said, the people who are really, really animated about sexual crimes they have nothing to do with, usually something else is going on with them. But if there's a penis involved, everybody has like a much bigger reaction. If there's no penis involved, it's kind of like, it's like, yeah, okay, she should be punished, but a lap dance? Dancing on what? Like literally a lap with no penis? I mean, yeah, it's like it's fucked up. Fire her and like, put her in jail a little bit, but okay, let's read on. Okay, teacher performing a lap dance on the chair. Then she then allegedly dared the two girls to kiss each other and asked if they would date each other. That same night, Allen said Fletcher then spent time alone with one of the girls and touched her genital area. The alleged grooming and abuse of the girl went on for months at various locations, the prosecution said, including in Fletcher's home and car. This week, the prosecution presented emails and messages between the girl and Fletcher, and also various photographs that it alleges demonstrate Fletcher was in a sexual relationship with the child. A photo taken from a photo booth at a cinema shows the pair kissing, but Fletcher, under questioning from defense lawyer Andrew Colshaw, said she was pulled in and the photo went off. In the second photo from the bottom, we can see you and the girl appear to be kissing. Can you explain to Her Honor what happened? Colshaw asked. It was meant to be a pretend kiss, like we had done previously, where our lips don't actually touch. And in that particular photo, we got close and she did sort of pull me in and the photo went off. Yeah, Fletcher said. When you say she pulled you in and the photo went off, what happened? Colshaw pressed. Just like around my neck sort of thing. Just so we would touch, yeah? Did you voluntarily engage in a kiss with her? Colshaw pressed. No, I did not, Fletcher said. Oof. Well, what I would do if I were a teacher of teen students? You know what I think would be a good idea is I would spend zero time with them outside of class, and I would never have them in my home. I would never be alone with them, and I would never be in a photo booth with them under any circumstances ever. Does that sound unreasonable? Does that make sense to anyone? All right, it's enough of this story. It's enough already. Let's see. All right, let's go to this stupid bitch. Let's go here. Hold on. There's this lady. God, what's her name? All right, I'll just go by her YouTube channel name. Fight the Beast, Help for Sexual Addiction. That's the name of this YouTube channel. And this YouTube channel, it's all about, let me open it up here. So it's all about getting over your porn addiction. It's all like an anti-porn thing. Fight the Beast provides help to heal pornography, masturbation, and sexual addictions, blah, blah, blah. So it's this lady, and it's, these like no-fap guys, these like Matt McCusker guys, where like it's all anti-porn. It's all like how to stop jerking off, right? It's all like, you know, you know what it is. You know this whole industry, right? This is an industry. This is like, the content machine. It feeds you like sexy girl, sexy girl, sexy girl. Don't jerk off or it'll kill you, right? That's like it's like the cycle of the content machine. And this is a key part of the ecosystem is these kind of hucksters, right? So this lady, it's help for sexual addiction. That's her whole channel. Okay. Now her new video, she's taken a turn now. So she's done 6 years of coaching men to stop using porn. And her new video, it's from porn recovery coach to OnlyFans. What broke me? So now she's, you're in the content creation game for a while, and you've got to, you got to mix it up. You got to always be evolving, always be changing. So she went from all this anti-porn, anti-OnlyFans, porn is evil, it exploits women, men can recover, they can have a better life, they can stop jerking off to porn, to this 11 days ago, porn recovery coach turned OnlyFans creator. So now what she's doing is she's selling naked photos of herself to these guys. This got on my radar because this is just completely evil. Like, this is the worst thing you could possibly do. In fact, I take it back. What I said last time, I said, like, I can never hate women that much. Never mind. I'm back on board. Put me on the anti-woman train. This sucks. Like, these guys who would sign up for something like this, you can say that they're they're losers. They're you don't have any empathy for these guys. Fuck these guys. They're retarded. Like, it's funny to just talk about jerking off so much, to be like really worried about it is funny. Like, whatever. Hey, whatever. Some people, like, their church will really pressure them into getting into a program like this, and they're not smart enough to just lie about how much they jerk off. So they end up like taking it super serious. Meanwhile, their pastor is jerking off like crazy. Meanwhile, their pastor is like fucking the kids in the church. The pastor is telling them that they're jerking off too much. So they spend their money in programs like this, or they get on like NoFap or something, and they think they're going to have like laser beams shooting out of their eyes. They're going to get superpowers if they don't jerk off for like 30 days in a row. And people fall into this. Hey, you can make fun of them. I like to make fun of them, but you gotta have some empathy for them. Like, I get it. And there is such a thing as jerking off too much too. At some point you've got to stop. But this lady, like, her whole business, she's getting these guys to give her money, because it's not just a YouTube. It's not just a YouTube. She's not just an online personality telling you to stop jerking off. And she's an attractive lady, but it's here. I got this. There's these links here that I have. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. She's got this fightthebeast.org. It's got a little logo with like a based like hoplite soldier with a spear and a shield. It's like a one of those gay like pseudo masculine logos, right? fightthebeast.org. She's selling coaching services. She's selling one-on-one like therapy, like coaching services, right? Coaching for all things sexual health. Select one. I am a man ready to quit, woman ready to quit, teen or parent, partner, spouse. Now, this is, I think, a recent addition to fightthebeast.org. There are these chili peppers, the universal sign for spicy content, right? And it says, not interested in recovery. Now, if you click this, you go to trigger warning. The following link goes to my OnlyFans page. It does contain adult content, but with it, I will be teaching a new method of sexual health and healing. This recovery method may not be for everyone. If you are strictly against all porn, my other program will better suit your needs and goals. Note, I do not in any way encourage relapse, reckless spending, lying to your partner, or toxic binging. My other program also offers help to improve your relationship with your wife and helping you finding a partner. I want a clean traditional recovery, or, and we have another chili pepper here, I want to explore conscious sexuality. Now we click this link and we go to her OnlyFans. And there's a banner of her in negligee here. You know, she's looking all sexy. She's got these professionally done like photographs. Porn recovery coach turned creator, and then with like an emoji with like a shocked hand over its mouth, and an emoji with eyes wide and blushing. So all this horse shit about how I still encourage like traditional recovery. She's laughing at you. If you like, this is actually insane. This is like the craziest thing. Like, this is insidious. I mean, this is for 6 years, because you know these guys, you know that they sign up for coaching sessions with her, and she's like an attractive woman. You know that they put a lot of misplaced hope in her. You know that these guys, they pay her like, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands for these coaching sessions. And they're like, yeah, I didn't jerk off for 3 days. Was I a good boy? And she's like, yes, you were. And the Lord's going to help you, and you're going to find a wife, and this is all going to be over. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. And you know, the second that Zoom call ends, the guy's pants are off, the lube is out, he's not even looking at porn, eyes closed, he's just stroking it, thinking about how much he loves this girl. You know that's what's happening, right? You know he's like, God sent her to me, and this is a little foretaste before we finally meet. She's the answer to my prayers. And he is stroking it, right? All this false hope, like, it was already fucked up what she was doing. Just being a woman coach for this, I'm going to coach. It's like going to an AA meeting, and like all the other AA members are like beer bottles. It's like, it's crazy. How are they going to talk to you? Right? Like, what? It doesn't even make sense to have a woman be a coach for this for men in the first place. But this is next level. This is like going to the AA meeting, and I'm like, hey, welcome to the AA meeting. I'm your coordinator. So we got two options. We've got traditional AA. That's what you've heard about from other alcoholics. That's what you've seen in movies and everything. But we also have an alternative recovery plan where you just drink. So I know you're in here, you've hit rock bottom and you don't want to drink anymore. Maybe you're like 24 hours clean or something. And I know that's why you came here. But hey, listen, do you really want to go inside there? Do you really want to give it all up? Or would you like, I've got some beer right here. Do you want some? You can buy it just straight from me. Forget about going to the liquor store. Okay. I've got ethical beer right here. I mean, this is really, really fucked up. This is like one of the worst things. Heather Nielsen is her name. Heather Nielsen. I mean, this is I mean, I've always said women are evil, but this is like next level stuff. This is so insidious. Um, Hold on, I'm looking at her in this negligee here. I'm about to start pounding off right now. Thank God I'm a PNG guy. Thank God I don't have a camera on me, so you can't see my erection. I mean, she looks good, but it's like, you know, the sad thing is, I'm going to give her a little credit. She probably deceived herself to some extent, where she's like, I'm an attractive woman. I'm going to make content on the internet, but I'm not like those whores. In fact, I'm an anti-whore. I'm going to make content about how you shouldn't pound off to whores on the internet. And then she probably like saw what the numbers would be if she did start showing her gash, and she was like, "Oh shit," you know. And then she's like, "Well, I can't just be like, well, the money's too good selling the addicts the thing that they're addicted to. I've got to make up this new." You know, this new bullshit. I've got to make up, like, this is my alternate recovery path, right? I mean, this is actually evil. I really hate this lady. I had a bunch more stories to do today. I guess some of them will make it to next week. There's a. Did you know there's a new Smurfs movie? I mean, not to too suddenly change the subject. Did anybody know there was a new Smurfs movie with like Rihanna? Like I don't really watch many movies in theaters, but there's I follow the big releases that come out. Like I follow them pretty religiously because I keep hoping that all the superhero movies fail. So I follow new releases. You know, I see like the new Disney slop or Pixar slop that's coming out, and it's on my radar. I, of course, don't go to watch it. I had no idea there was like a new Smurfs movie. I mean, maybe it's the country I'm in. It didn't get any advertising, but I mean, I'm on the American internet a lot. I haven't seen anything about a Smurfs movie. Did you guys know there was a Smurfs movie? I guess, okay, I think I can actually do this one. Um, there's a new Smurfs movie that, according to the Guardian, it betrays its communist roots. The Smurfs. The new Smurfs movie is it's too Americanized. It's too much about being an individual, and it betrays the great communist cause for which the Smurfs was originally made. Also, I guess so. I just read through this like quickly. I mean, I don't even know what to make of this. Like, I guess I'm supposed to be your guide through the news. I'm supposed to read the runes of the news to tell you what's actually being communicated. This one, I have no idea. I'm more lost than like a little child would be with this story. There's a new Smurfs movie. The Smurfs were communists originally. The new Smurfs movie betrays that. Rihanna has something to do with the new Smurfs movie. Rihanna is a billionaire. Did anyone know this? Did anyone know Rihanna is a billionaire? How is that possible? Uh, Rihanna, I remember she had that. Okay, here's what I know about Rihanna. When I was in high school, there was a black girl in a class where I was learning how to use Photoshop. Fucking hate Photoshop. And we had to like make a bunch of shit in Photoshop. It was kind of a bullshit class. There was a black girl who would put in her headphones on her computer, and I could hear her listening to Rihanna music over and over again while she made these really intricate Kingdom Hearts like posters in Photoshop. And I was like, that rules. That's pretty cool. You know, Kingdom Hearts and Rihanna. That's what Rihanna's a billionaire from songs for black girls to make Kingdom Hearts posters too? Or what does she have, like a makeup brand? Does she sell jewelry? And she's involved with the Smurfs, and she's a billionaire, but the Smurfs were communists? I mean, I'm pretty. This is. I'm barely hanging on here with this story. This is so outside my wheelhouse. I mean, I got to get more evil, conniving women doing porn after roping in innocent boys whose pastor who's molesting children told them they had to get in a porn recovery program. All right, everybody. That's it. I won't do the Smurf story next week. That's enough. Just a couple minutes of the Smurf story. Remember, burnpile.vip. Please sign up if you found this show on YouTube or if you found it on BitChute or on X. Sign up at burnpile.vip. Let me get your email address so I can share it with the Indian scammers that I know and try to make some money off of you. Okay. All right, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Hammurabi did not go far enough. Draco did not go far enough. I'm Faisy did not go far, and it's not far enough anymore. It's not far enough. It's not far enough. No. We need to go further. And furthermore, Montezuma did not go far enough. Zhang Sheng did not go far enough. Robespierre did not go far enough. It's not far enough anymore. It's not far enough. No. It's not far enough. No. We need to go further. And furthermore, Stalin did not go far enough. Mao did not go far enough. Pol Pot did not go far enough. Jim Jones did not go far enough. It's not far enough anymore. It's not far enough. No. It's not far enough. No. We need to go further. And furthermore, and I will go too far. And I will go too far. I will go too far, and it still won't be far enough. Too far. If your goal is anything less than to annihilate all that exists, you are not a revolutionary. You're just another stinking reformer. It's not far enough. No. It's not far enough. No. We need to go further. And furthermore,